The Donut Bag is brought to you by Penn Highway Marketplace, the marketplace for vintage goods, quality collectibles, and handmade crafts. It's where I get all my sports memorabilia. Go to facebook.com/Penn Highway. That's facebook.com/PENNHWY and mention I sent you. I am Groot. 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 And I am Groot, and I am Groot. I am Groot.
Can we do that for an hour? Just sit and say I am Groot to everything? We can be talking about anything.
That'd be the best improv ever. We would just what did you call me?
Yeah.
Did you call my mama?
Groot.
Okay. What in case you didn't understand me, I guess I'll speak English. I want to go back to 9 years ago, 2014. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 came out. And
nobody thought this was gonna work.
Nobody knew what the heck it was.
I didn't. No. I freely admit it.
No, I had no idea what these characters were.
Same.
And even I I'm the comic book guy.
You're the comic book nerd.
No idea who these characters were.
Yeah.
Do they have a history in the comic books?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
But like
they are
group.
Not Star-Lord and Groot and everything. They're Yondu and characters you've never heard of.
The kind of weird. Like the dudes that Sylvester Stallone's character were hanging out with, that was sort of the OG Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yes. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it made no sense. The first Guardians made no sense contextually. Yeah.
So I went to watch it just because, this was the 10th MCU movie. It came out right after Captain America Winter Soldier. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I just I just went to watch. It's like, well, it's MCU. I guess I'll go see it. And I remember the first scene was Peter dancing.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. That's on Come and Get Your Love. Yeah. And I thought, God, this is gonna suck. Man, what the heck is going on? This weird music and this weird dude that I don't even know.
That's
this
weird
is gonna
music.
Suck. I know. Speaking of the music, I've never seen a movie that incorporated music as well as Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I can probably name.
Thing, though.
Yes, it is. Yes,
what?
James Gunn's thing to incorporate music.
Does this thing with music,
and we'll talk about that in a minute. So from that, Guardians 1 was not only one of my favorite movies ever, favorite MCU movies ever, but one of my favorite movies ever. And so well done. Chris Pratt, basically, we just knew him as Andy from Parks and Rec, and that made him a star. I do love the fact that they wrote in the thing in Parks and Rec where he's like, how did you lose so much weight? It's like, I just stopped drinking beer. He was still doing Parks and Rec when he was because that was oh my goodness, how funny is that?
They do this line where he's like, oh yeah, how did you lose so much weight? He's like, I stopped drinking beer. How much beer were you drinking? Probably too much.
He actually gained weight for some role. He put on a lot of weight for some. He was like somebody's lawyer in some movie. I forget.
I don't remember. All I know he's done the Jurassic World movies after this. So, and he's basically like the same slimmed down version.
Pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
What's that movie he did last year? Wasn't it like an HBO movie? Going to outer space.
Yeah, Tomorrow War.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, was he in that?
Yeah.
He was in a movie with Jennifer Lawrence where
the one where he falls asleep.
They fall asleep. It's in the future, and they go off to some distant planet.
And if you like Chris Pratt, don't watch that one.
He basically had a crush on Jennifer Lawrence, so I'm like, I'm gonna ruin her life.
Don't watch that one if you like Chris Pratt.
I was okay.
It's weird.
Anyway, so then Guardians 2 came out. I was so excited, and honestly, I was so disappointed in that movie. I just didn't like basically anything about it. But now we are here, and this is. Did James Gunn do Guardians 2?
Yes.
Okay, so this is his third movie, his final movie with Marvel. He is now the co-president of DC. He's going to do DC movies.
And I'm so excited for that. Like, James Gunn, I think he can fix DC.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he could do. I just like the idea that there might be like a unified vision and a plot. I mean, they're not gonna do MCU, but they could try. They already tried it and it was a disaster. So hopefully they could just reboot it all and have it all make sense and have it all interconnected. I would love that. Even though we've had just as many Superman movies as Batman movies almost. So
I really
but none of them hit like Dark Knight. Like, Dark Knight was amazing. Like, that series, Christopher Nolan. But we haven't had a director that has really done Superman right.
The first Wonder Woman was really good too.
The first Wonder Woman
was amazing. I loved the first Wonder Woman.
It was first Wonder Woman.
Combat that the first Wonder Woman is also just Captain America redone, but
fine with me.
Yeah,
fine with me.
That was really well done. So.
Now Wonder Woman was one of my two favorite superhero characters growing up were Superman and Wonder Woman.
Boo.
Hell, I got so many. I have right on my desk right now. I have lots of Supermans. I have lots of Wonder Womans. I have always been a fan. I don't know if it's because they're colorful. I don't know why.
Spider-Man for the win.
Yeah. So this is really a farewell. It's a farewell to James Gunn. It's a farewell to some of these actors and
Dave Bautista. He's done.
Oh, really?
Zoe Saldana's done. Yeah.
Aww.
Zoe Saldana. They hate being painted. They hate the makeup.
Do you blame them?
No.
So wait a minute. So Quill and Gamora are never going to get back together ever?
Unless it's a different actress.
Unless it's a different
Probably
actress.
not.
Yeah.
Well, that ticks me off.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, and Bautista was done when they fired James Gunn. When they did that whole thing where they were like, James Gunn, you're out for tweets that were sent about 10 years ago, and then he got fired for a hot second, and then went and did Suicide Squad. And then came back, and Bautista was like, I will come back if James Gunn comes back.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah. So I did not know much going into the movie, but I heard those things that it's a farewell, and I heard rumors that people are gonna die. Your favorite characters are gonna be gone. People are gonna die, and there were so many fake outs in this movie of is he dead? Is he dead?
So who did you think was gonna die?
I thought for sure Drax was gonna die. I thought possibly Quill, Peter was gonna die. Maybe Gamora. I don't know. I heard somebody's gonna die.
All right,
I heard
Pam,
nothing,
did you hear about anybody dying?
My life has been a zoo, and I left it that way and didn't look anything up because I wanted to go in fresh, and so I didn't even hear that.
All right, so the one that I heard was gonna die was Rocket.
Okay.
Heard that
makes sense.
They are gonna kill Rocket. Rocket is gonna die. Like that. Yeah. That was the hard and fast thing that I heard.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the movie.
So many fake outs. So many times like, oh my God, this is it. They're done. It's like, nope, nobody died. Spoiler alert. Okay, so let's talk about the movie. We start with basically we start with basically the origin of Rocket, where he is just a little raccoon with a bunch of little raccoons, and some hand goes out to reach him, and all the other raccoons are like staying away, but Rocket goes toward the hand. So I guess that establishes Rocket is different. He, just has a different mind or
more
something
inquisitive,
like that.
more
Yeah.
I took it as a protector, but yeah.
Took it as what?
I took it as a protector, but
yeah.
Works.
You could see it that way too. So then and basically the entire movie almost was just going back between Rocket's past and the present, just going back and forth. It was almost like if something bad happened to Rocket, then something was good happening in present life, and if something good was happening to Rocket in the past, something bad was happening in the present. So from there we go to basically Nowhere, which is where the Guardians
own that now.
They bought it from the collector.
Okay, so since we have to know this right off the bat, when did that happen? Because I wasn't aware of it until the holiday special.
From the Christmas special,
the holiday special.
So much happened in that holiday special.
It did.
It's relevant. Like
it did.
It's amazing.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
There was just, and it was kind of like a throwaway line in that holiday special. Nebula said, "Well, ever since we bought this place from the collector, blah blah blah," and so
I watched that thing 3 times and never noticed.
I took that as like par for the course.
The Nowhere is from the severed head of a Celestial, which I thought was interesting.
That is the severed head of Celestial, yeah.
Okay.
Which they mentioned somewhere along the MCU, because I knew that, and I don't know stuff like you guys do.
That was in the first Guardians, and I believe
that's in the first Guardians.
Was it in also Infinity War or Endgame or something like that?
I think it was in one of them. I think it was in another one, because if I knew it had to be somewhere.
Yeah.
So
it might be, but they mentioned it in the Guardians. It's a severed head of a Celestial.
Okay. So here we talk about James Gunn incorporating music, and this is a perfect song, "Creep" by Radiohead.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. And it basically is the Guardians. It's basically the whole movie. It's like, I want a perfect body, I want a perfect soul,
I'm a creep,
I'm a weirdo, what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Boy, I'm actually singing pretty all right. It's like, you got a spot for me on your choir there?
Come on in.
Look, my issue is not with that song. My issue is the Beastie Boys coming in later. So
hey, okay. Well, then we got something to talk about. Just real quick. I saw REM in 1995 in Hershey, PA, and at the time REM was like the band, and they were the headliner. Yeah, they and the band that opened up for them was Radiohead, and I thought, who are these losers? What a crappy band! What a stupid! Nobody's gonna remember this Radiohead. This Radiohead is stupid. Meanwhile, you barely hear about REM anymore, and you still hear Radiohead all the time. So basically, the beginning of the scene, or the beginning, is just showing that everything that's going on in Nowhere. They're all trying to make Nowhere their own home, and they basically show everybody, and they show Peter. He is drunk because he is sad. He's sad. Everybody he knows, everybody he loves dies. He eventually is. His mom, Yondu, Gamora is basically gone, sort of. So he is really sad. He's basically just drinking himself into oblivion. And
they're carrying him back.
They're carrying him back, and they're all like, oh, what do we do with him? But the way they carried him back, that was I think a scene in a trailer. It kind of looked like a fake out, like they were carrying, like, and Peter was dead. It's kind of
they definitely shot that, and they definitely were like, oh, is Peter dead?
Right.
Yeah.
So it basically establishes that Peter is in a bad spot.
Although the the scene where he's like, "Oh, I love you,
Gamora."
but he touches Nebula. Nebula looks hurt in that scene. Like Nebula looks like maybe like there's a thing between him and Nebula.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I just...
Maybe. Well, that is addressed later on. So, so they're doing their thing, and here comes Adam Warlock. Boom. He is just wrecking everything, and basically he just takes on everybody and basically defeats them too.
Adam Warlock is Space Jesus.
Space Jesus.
He's Space Jesus. Oh my god, I hate what they did with this character in this movie. That's my biggest gripe.
Is he I know his mom is in the second one. Is he in the second one?
He's in the Cocoon.
He's in the post-credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the mom sovereign is like, I'm gonna get those Guardians back, and and there's a cocoon there, and she's like, I'm gonna name him Adam, and that was supposed to tease Adam Warlock. So he was still in the cocoon back in Guardians 2 in that post-credit scene.
They did him so dirty in this. In
the comics, apparently, he was created by the Enclave, which was a bunch of scientists to create a perfect being.
Yes, which was also part of the
High Evolutionary.
Yes, the High Evolutionary. He had a part in that. He's also very big in defeating Thanos, and he has the Mind Stone in his head, and the Soul Stone in his head. It's a big thing.
He has a Soul Stone in his head in the comics. Here, it's just like a jewelry piece.
That aggravated the crap out of me.
He has a very rich history in the comics. He was very involved in. Basically, if you take Vision and maybe I forget his Sorcerer Supreme. You kind of combine those characters in the MCU. Who else I'm thinking? Basically,
Tilda Swinton is the Sorcerer Supreme, right?
No, I mean Doctor Strange. If you kind of combine those characters, you get what Adam Warlock was in the comics in the Infinity Saga. Maybe I'm just talking out of my butt. Anyway,
you know more than I do.
So anyway, he attacks everyone. Nebula comes out. Basically, she's Iron Woman. She's got this.
Yeah. When did she get a nanotech arm?
Thank you. I was like, when did this happen?
I have the answer to that.
Thank you.
She got it from Rocket. You know why? He was so appreciative that she gifted him Bucky's arm from the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Bucky's arm wasn't nanotech?
No, but he was so appreciative that he made her this nanotech stuff.
I gotta go back and watch the Guardians holiday special.
The holiday special was
apparently that was important.
Apparently.
Okay.
So and her arm becomes this thing. She's she's all dolled up. He basically wipes out Groot. Groot becomes a head with a spider.
Oh my god, that was very sad.
I love him scurrying around with the Groot head. That made me smile.
And then Nebula gets a sword, just stabs him. So I guess
Nebula's pretty badass.
Nebula, she is.
Nebula is the most underrated Guardian, by the way.
Looks like it. So now everybody is hurting, but Rocket is in really bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
They go to use the med pack on him, whatever the heck that is, and they can't because he has some kind of proprietary technology.
It's a kill code.
Yeah, basically. So I don't know how they figured that out, that they have to go to that Orgo planet, but they figure out that's where they have to go.
It was a thing they read in his, like, as they were like diagnosing him. I'm willing to chalk it up to that's.
It was probably like on some readout or something like that, like copyright.
We get Nathan Fillion though.
We do get Nathan Fillion, but before that, there is a flashback. Basically we find out how Rocket is made, all these experiments, all these horrible things done to him to make him who he is. And he meets the three other friends, Teeth, Lila, and Floor, who are just basically
Floor is terrifying, by the way. I have nightmares about Floor.
Yeah, it's basically the island of misfit toys. It's basically what it is.
We're on the island.
So and they kind of help him out. So back in the present, the Guardians go to the Orgoscorp, which is some planet or something that's basically organic material. I hated all this gooey stuff.
I did like the part where like Quill is trying to talk to Gamora and he doesn't realize he's on like the main channel. I'm like, oh, it's all very like organic.
Yeah, they see Gamora, which is a huge surprise to Peter, but that's how
part of the Ravagers.
She's part of the Ravagers now, which I guess makes sense.
But we never see that actually happen, right?
No.
I mean, that's just okay. I was
before this movie,
did I miss this? Yeah,
before this movie, we don't see that happen.
And the only reason they know about it is because Nebula has been in contact with her sister. Is basically, So yeah, that whole scene was funny. He's basically, I mean, Peter. We saw Peter at the beginning of the movie. He is just a mess. He is just so down because of Gamora. And he's trying to talk to her. And then I love that scene where he pushes the blue button. It's like, no, blue is yellow, yellow is green, bro. The black is blue. Bro. Like what?
It seems very intuitive to me.
Yeah, it seems very intuitive. The duh. I thought that was cute because he hits blue, which broadcasts it to everybody, and Drax says something like, "We've heard it all. It's very, very painful," or something like this. So they go down to the surface, they drill down, they get into the one of the laboratories, and Nathan Fillion with some dudes show up.
Love him.
Malcolm Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Could they? What's
Firefly?
Firefly. Okay.
Firefly.
You know what?
I know. So I know him from Firefly. I know him from Castle.
I loved Castle too. Yeah. I love everything he's in.
Nathan Fillion, Michael Rooker, and I think
Michael Rooker was in that scene.
No, I'm just saying. There's three people that are in every James Gunn movie: Nathan Fillion, Michael Rooker, and his brother, Sean Gunn, who's Kraglin.
Yeah.
Did you know that Nathan Fillion was supposed to appear in Guardians 2?
He sort of was.
Did not.
He was on posters or something like that.
He was supposed to be Wonder Man in Guardians 2.
Okay. My problem with this is, why do you, if you're into space goofy stuff and you can make anything you want, why do you make them wear those suits? Those are the ugliest, stupidest looking suits I've ever seen. They look like
big butt suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They were on a big butt planet. Like that planet had just random mutations for no reason.
Planet Sir Mix-a-Lot is
Planet Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I like big planets. I cannot lie.
Oh God.
So there was like an alerts like, hey, intruder alert. Nathan Fillion and his buddies come and they fake him out. So it's like, oh, we good. But then Mantis accidentally puts all their suits in the garbage and shoots it out and gets shot out of space. They're like, uh-oh. So they split up and they meet up with and Peter and Gamora meet up with Orange Woman, or was she pink? She was purple. Aura.
Yeah, she was pink.
Okay. Do you know who Aura was?
What?
Aura was in the movie Suicide Squad. She was Ratcatcher too.
Oh.
Oh,
I did not
really?
know that or think
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, what ends up happening is so they have to get this tech, this ball for Rocket. That was the whole point of it, and they're on to them. They caught on that. Well, here we got intruders. So basically, it's kind of similar to Guardians of Galaxy 1 when they were all in that prison when they all first met and they were all in that prison. They had to escape.
Gravity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was another fake out because they shot the heck out of Drax, and it looked like Drax was gonna die, but no.
I'm with you. I thought Drax was gonna die right there. I was like, oh, James Gunn is going there.
Yep. This is also in part of all this. Peter tells Gamora, about their past and she says, whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her. And she points to Nebula, and that scene where like Peter is like looking lovingly at Nebula, and she's like, "What's your problem?"
So
yeah, your eyes are so gorgeous.
By my father.
Yeah, they were replaced by my father, who used them as a form of torture. He's like, well, he picked a really pretty pair.
Yeah. Although I do love the fact that like his whole deal is he's like trying to like put his moves on Gamora, and then he does eventually put the moves on that pink girl. That's how he gets into the computer system.
He tells Gamora, it's like, oh, I'm so excited, you're gonna see me put the charm on, and that pink girl is like, I really don't care. But in the end, he does charm her, and he does trick her into doing the gravity thing. So his charm did work.
Exactly, right?
So yeah, they eventually escape. No one dies. In the past, Rocket is sitting on the High Evolutionary's lap, and they're having a good time, and he's
having a good time.
Rocket, and everything's fine. And then they name each other, and he says, I want to go on a rocket and go into space with all my friends. I'll call myself Rocket. And then the one calls.
All right, don't gloss over that moment. That moment
was cute.
Made you, like, tear up.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket is just sad.
I'll call myself Teefs because I have the biggest teefs, and I'll call myself Floor because I'm closest to the floor, and I'll call myself Lila, and like that whole scene like is what makes Rocket, like, is what gives Rocket his character development.
Right.
I love that scene. Like, I also hate that scene.
It's just sad. It's just everything about Rocket's past is sad.
It is very sad.
because they come in and they murder everybody after.
Right.
Which is terrible, but
so the Guardians escape, and then Adam Warlock and what's her face? Mommy shows up.
The High Guardian, I guess.
What, I forget her name. But
Yeah.
they catch a Ravager, and they're about to interrogate them, and he's like, I'm not gonna talk, and she says to him, show him we mean business. He's like, okay, and he just vaporizes. She's like, what are you doing?
He doesn't understand.
Send him a message, not vaporize him, dude. He's like, what? I don't know.
He's a child, though. I do love that fact that they just like keep Adam Warlock like he's a child. Like he doesn't understand how things work.
Yeah. So the Guardians think they have the thing, but they don't. And there's like one piece of information missing, and that piece of information that's missing is in the brain of Mateo from Superstore. I don't know. Did either of you watch Superstore? Nope. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the dude with the, you know what?
I knew it was in the brain of the other guy.
There's a dude just like that in Empire Strikes Back on Cloud City. Bald guy with like a computer in his head. Same thing.
I never would have caught that.
Lobot, yes.
Lobot,
yes.
Yeah.
I never would have caught that.
I did catch that actually. Now that you say that, I forgot about it.
He will heretofore be called Lobot.
Yes.
So they gotta get the information from Lobot, and Peter says, "Oh yeah, I remember him. I ran into him down at the lab." And they say, "Well, where is he? Oh, he's on Counter Earth." Okay. And so
that was confusing. That was confusing to me.
Yeah.
The whole, I was like trying to wrap my
confusing
brain around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
very convenient that they would just happen to find that information.
All right. So real quick, Counter Earth in the comics is literally an Earth that spins directly opposed to our current Earth.
Is it near? Is it near current
Earth? The sun at an exactly different like velocity. So.
Oh, so it's like the opposite. It's always like the opposite side.
It's always on the opposite side of the sun, so we never noticed it.
Oh. So it's like a
dumb.
constant eclipse kind of thing.
It's dumb, trust me.
It looked dumb. Okay, so they go to Counter Earth. They just land, and Counter Earth is basically like 1950s suburbs, something like that. With
I was gonna say 1990s, but
yeah, something like that. Goofy looking with goofy looking, weird looking people, and they go down and they just land in the middle of the stank street. Oh, by the way, the ship is called the Bowie.
There's been three. There's been three different names, right?
Well, there was the Milano, then there was the Benatar, and now there's the Bowie.
Now it's the Bowie. Yeah. All 80
Benatar, really?
The Benatar was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah.
How did I miss this? Pat's my girl.
Yeah. Pat Benatar's. By the way, rest in peace, Tina Turner.
Oh my God.
How sad is that? Yeah.
So sad.
So they land in the middle of the street, which is it's a big ship. This Bowie. They land in the middle of the street, and they all get out, and all these people approach them, and a little girl, like a little bulb, goes by, and and Drax just plays the worst game of dodgeball ever, and just destroys this girl. And they
that was in the trailer, though. I was ready for that.
But what I did like about that is they did the dodgeball sound. You know that sound when you play dodgeball and it's bouncing off of somebody's head. So yeah, that very distinctive thump. But then they tell Groot to go kaiju on them.
Go full kaiju. That was my favorite. Like the fact that they referenced like going kaiju and like Godzilla movies. I love that moment. That was great.
So they befriend Bat Lady, and she takes them to their house, and
I guess
it's like
Batman, because they steal his car.
There you go. And they communicate that they drink some lovely blue cola, which I would like some blue pop. That looked good. And they communicate that he draws a picture of Lobot, and it's actually a pretty good picture, and everybody's like, ooh. I think Drax is like, I would like to frame that or something like that. But she understands. It's like, oh, he's in that giant spaceship that nobody has seen before. It's like all those memes where you say we can't find the villain's lair, and it's like the most obvious
right
thing
there
ever.
Yeah.
So Peter and Nebula, and I guess Groot, get in the car.
Yeah, and we get the first F-bomb dropped in
the first F
I was
word.
like, Oh, wow. Okay.
Did you know that there are rules about the F word?
Yes.
You are allowed one F word, and
In a
it has to
PG-13
be,
movie.
and it has to be in a PG-13 movie, and it has to be at least 1 hour into the movie.
And it cannot reference sex.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
As long as it is used as an expletive and not in reference to intercourse, you can use it.
Well, F me. I love that scene because there's also that meme where it's like, oh, I can't, when I go get a rental car, I can't figure out how to turn on the headlights or use the dang thing, but you could just hop in some spaceship and know exactly how to use it. Well, here they hop in a car and they have no idea. It's like, how do I get in? It's like, well,
yeah, that was interesting.
Push the button.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I did watch a show, and I forget the name of the show, but they did make a point where like people step into a spaceship and they're like, "Oh, you know how to use this?" And I'm like, and they were like, "Oh, well, somebody said that the like intelligence of a species is how like obvious it is to use things." And I was how obvious it is to use their technology, and I was like, that actually makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, hey, Gamora had problems using the driving flying the ship.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, maybe it's this. Sorry, go ahead.
I like that. No. I like that little. It's just a little thing, but I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Cute. Yeah. So Gamora is on the ship and she goes through Peter's backpack and he has all this stuff from the 80s and he's trying to, I guess, talk to Rocket or just say, you must be pretty important or something like that. Also of note, Gamora is Gamora after they escape the thing, she's like, I want to get away from you people, and they're like, no, we're not. We have an important
she calls them the Ravagers.
Yeah, she calls the Ravagers, which actually was the Sovereign picked up the signal, but she talks to, she can't understand Groot, which is very important.
I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting way to.
I have things to say at the end of this, but
oh yeah, that's a big scene. Now, just keep in mind, in Guardians 1, Peter initially did not understand Groot.
Oh,
just
that's
saying.
Right. Correct. That's right. He didn't. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So
forgot about that.
Only Rocket understood Groot in the very beginning.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so Peter and Nebula, they go to they go to the spaceship, this big giant pyramid thing, and they see War Pig.
Oh,
okay.
Judy
Greer.
No, Judy Greer. Yeah,
Judy Dench is like some old lady.
I love Judy Greer.
How did you get Judy Greer to do this part?
She Greer does everything. She's everywhere.
Was she Ant-Man's wife?
Yeah, his first wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his wife. Yeah.
Now we go to a flashback where Rocket has been stealing parts and he makes his own key card so they can escape. He gets out. Lila gets out, and the High Evolutionary is there and shoots and kills Lila. Oh man,
this broke my heart.
And then he goes to.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah, he goes to shoot Rocket, and he misses, but he ends up killing Tiff and Floor. Oh.
And Rocket just goes.
Rocket loses it. And High Evolutionary is like, why are you crying? And Rocket just rips his face off.
So it took me through watchings. I didn't realize that was the reason. The first watching that the High Evolutionary, he has his face pulled back.
I agree. I didn't get that at first.
It took me 2 watchings, and I was like, "Holy crap!" That's because Rocket ripped his face off.
Yeah. That's why he looked like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Between RoboCop and Skeletor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So Peter and Groot get up to the to meet the High Evolutionary, and and Peter says something like, I don't need to hear your madman crap because you had mommy issues or something like that. Or basically like, I'm tired of the bad guy explaining his plan or something like that, which is true. Like,
yeah, I get that. No, trust me, I get that one.
Can we not? Can we not with the bad guy explaining his evil plan? But the High Evolutionary says, I visited Earth and I really like what I saw, except for, the people suck. So I decided to make my own Earth. And Peter's like, you got people dealing drugs and beating each other up. What are you talking about? This isn't no perfect society.
I was gonna say there's the scene where there's the like one whatever convert that he has dealing drugs to like the other ones.
Yeah. It was probably that blue pop. That blue pop looked. I'd obtain that illegally. And so I don't know if that looked good. I need to get me some blue pop. I don't know if at that point, if it's because of what Peter said, he's like that the High Evolutionary is like, okay, fine, I'll blow up the planet. I don't know why. It's like it's a coincidence or what, but he just blows up the planet. Everything starts exploding, and everybody dies, including Adam Warlock's mom.
Yeah, but he didn't care about Adam Warlock's mom. He said they were a failed experiment. They were like he says it early in the movie. He says they were something with I forget exactly the line, but he basically says that they were a failed experiment.
The High Evolutionary created the Sovereign.
Yes, but he said they were failed. He doesn't recognize them as like his perfect beings.
The thing about the philosophy of the High Evolutionary is, if it's not perfect, then kill it.
Yes. So that's exactly why he kills the Sovereign.
Meanwhile, all of the Guardians have some kind of imperfection or are broken in some way, and that's what you love about him. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but he's frustrated because Rocket figured out something that he couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
That's his big, for whatever
there was
for whatever I'm gonna say. That's his character arc. He is frustrated because Rocket figured out something he did, and he needs to get Rocket
there's
back
something about Rocket that's different than anybody else.
Exactly.
And including there was that one scene where they made a Ninja Turtle, but the Ninja Turtle was too angry, so they had to kill it. And Baby Rocket says, "Oh, I know why. It's because of this thing." And he's like, "How the heck do you know that, dude?"
Exactly. Yeah. No. That's the entire scene as to why the High Evolutionary wants Rocket. Like that entire scene is he figured out something that the High Evolutionary didn't figure out, and the High Evolutionary's pissed.
Yeah.
That's why that's actually why he kills his friends, because he's like he can't accept the fact that he didn't figure it out first.
I was just gonna say, Counter Earth is a big place, because one of the things he says is, you and your batch, you're never gonna, because all they wanted to do is all Rocket and his friends wanted to do is just hang out on Counter Earth, and High Evolutionary is like, oh, you're never gonna be on there. You're not perfect enough. So I guess it's like, why don't you just let them go? It's like, no, because they're not perfect. So I guess they had to be eliminated.
I didn't take it that way. I took it that Counter Earth came after, and it came after because Rocket fixed it, and the High Evolutionary couldn't take the fact that one of his creations fixed the thing that made them aggressive, like
corrected them. Okay, I could see that. I mean,
yeah, that's how I took it. So I do. We're skipping ahead, but yeah.
So there's a lot that goes on. Okay, so the planet detonates. they find these on this pyramid. They find these children locked in cages. Oh, who is it? Nebula and Drax and Mantis. They're stuck outside the pyramid, and the pyramid is going up into space because
and then Groot and Quill like dive out of it.
And and then
Groot decides that he can grow wings now, so that's a thing.
Sure, let's make him a hang glider. Sure.
Look, if that is the giantest leap this movie takes, I'm willing to go with it.
I am flying. They land, and Peter, the Lobot says, "You're gonna kill both of us," and Peter's like, "Well, maybe one of us." So he like drags him through the ground and kills him, and then he removes his computer from his head. So that's what the thing that has the information for Rockets.
Oh yeah.
It gets confusing now. So somehow
it does get confusing. I'm sitting here thinking, where are we in the
where
movie?
are we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Peter and Groot are on the ground. It's and then okay. So at some point, Adam Warlock comes for, or was it Warpig? Oh yeah, Warpig and Adam Warlock come for Rocket and Gamora.
So
it gets, a lot happens, and then Gamora hides Rocket. And kind of Adam Warlock and Warpig are like, "Yo, dude, we're trying to do the same thing here." And Adam's like, "No, I need credit, so my people are saved."
Yeah, he needs to get credit for it.
Yeah. And then does he just rip the head off of Warpig? I don't remember.
I think he just
I forget.
Warpig, but I mean, again,
basically Gamora takes Rocket and hides, and then I don't remember what happened. So Nebula and Drax and Mantis are on the pyramid. They get in because they
and Drax like talks to the kids. And,
right.
Yeah.
There's all these little kids, and Drax is really good with them. And Nebula's yelling at everybody, and Mantis is like, "I'm tired of you yelling at everybody. Stop it. Just because your daddy was, the destroyer of the universe and yelled at everybody doesn't mean you have to yell at everybody too."
I do love the moment where Mantis where they get trapped in the like pit, and you think it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like Star Wars where they get trapped by what is that?
Those monsters.
Yeah, and she's like, they don't eat people, they eat batteries, and she just like hypnotizes them, and they just like become her like minions essentially. I loved that. That was amazing.
Those things are called obelisks, and in I believe the opening scene of Guardians 2.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're fighting.
They were all fighting
Drax,
that
jumps
thing.
into the stomach and just like, and he like just keeps stabbing it, but like it doesn't kill it.
They're going through hell trying to defeat this monster, and Mantis is like, "Hey, cool, chill, and we're good." So
that makes me appreciate Mantis, though.
Mantis is extremely important.
She has developed a lot over these movies, which I like.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gamora gets to Peter. She basically wrecks the car getting to him because she can't drive. Women drivers. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I was gonna say.
So they have the thing to save Rocket. They go to save him, and it doesn't work. And Rocket is in heaven, and he sees Lila.
This is the Harry Potter scene.
It really is. It is literally
Wakanda when what's his name? T'Challa sees his dad.
Yes. Yeah. Same thing. And I will give this movie credit. I felt this scene or this part of the scene more than I felt like your Harry Potter or your Black Panther. Like this actually meant something. This is one of the times that I cried. I was actually very emotional at the scene.
Dude, I'm right there with you.
They did a great job. They did a great job with it, because it did look like that was it. Because they're like, "Do you want to come with us?" He's like, "Yeah." And usually in those, you're dead scenes, it's usually the character is like, "No, I don't want to go back. I'm gonna fight to live," and then they go. But she's like, "No, no, no."
Yeah, but she's like, "It's not your time yet. You still have things to do." And I appreciate the hell out of it.
Yeah, that was awesome. She said something like, "There's the hands that guide you, and then there's the hands that guide the hands," and people are speculating.
Which is really weird for a otter that doesn't have hands.
Okay. All right.
Philosophical otters that don't have hands should not be a thing. But yes, that was an excellent point by the talking otter. Yes. So he decides. So he decides to live. Everything is working again. Rocket is back together. Rocket is good. He wakes up, and Nebula and Drax and Mantis are trying to reach Peter, because they're all preoccupied with trying to save Rocket. I mean, like, Peter's like doing CPR, doing everything, and Gamora's like, "That's it. He's gone." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no." And he finally comes back, and Rocket says something like, "Where's Nebula?" And it's like, "Well, Nebula's not here." It's like, "Well, her she's trying to contact you." And when,
dude, I straight up thought Rocket was gonna die in this movie, and I thought that was the scene. I thought they were going to go through all of this and Rocket was still going to die.
So
I was not okay.
So they contact Nebula, and they're like, "Where are you?" It's like, "I'm on the ship. Where are you?" It's like, not on the ship, not on the pyramid thing." And Rocket says something, and Nebula's like, is Rocket okay?" And Nebula is so happy, and I'm trying to hold it together and talking about it. Now, remember, after the snap, the only Guardians that were alive were Nebula and Rocket. So for 5 years, they were together, and I'm sure they formed a great bond.
Yeah.
And so she was so emotional. It's like, "Oh my God, Rocket's okay." And then and Drax and Mantis found out too. So, I
didn't put that together, but yeah, you're right. That's
so okay. So at some point, the High Evolutionary says, "Okay, send the minions to kill Nowhere." Nowhere comes and starts like shooting torpedoes at the pyramid. And then the high
gun.
the minions come to attack Nowhere, and somehow they all end up on the pyramid. Somehow all of the Guardians end up on the pyramid, and
no, you crossed over the whole whistle thing.
Well, the whole Kraglin and the whistle thing, where they're because the minions are just really wrecking everything, and then but Kraglin cannot use the whistle thing. He cannot use the arrow thing
until he sees
Yondu.
Yes,
and Yondu says,
"I loved that Yondu was in it."
Yes, very. Yes. It was awesome. He says, "You don't use it," because basically Kraglin was trying to be Yondu 2.0, and he knew he couldn't. He was an inferiority complex thing. It's like, I know I'm not good enough, and yeah.
And James Gunn can't do a movie without Michael Rooker.
That's right. So. And Yondu says, "The key is you got to use your heart, boy." So he finally figures it out, and he uses the arrow to basically defeat all the minions.
Pretty much everybody except for the last one, and then Cosmo comes in.
And then Cosmo, yeah, that's when back in the beginning of the movie, Kraglin cannot. He's trying to figure out how to use the arrow, and he can't. And then Cosmo is like, "I got you."
A bad girl.
Yeah, he calls her a bad dog, and yeah, you don't call a dog a bad dog. And then he says and then when Cosmo saves us, like, you're a good dog. So
yeah,
that was cool.
That was a fun moment.
So they all end up on the pyramid, and here we go. No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And you got a problem with that, Andrew?
I just that song is so overused. Like,
I'm old and I didn't mind it. Come on.
I don't mind it because that fight scene is freaking phenomenal. Like, don't get me wrong, that fight scene is amazing. I'm not gonna knock that fight scene.
It's one of my favorite songs ever. And
all right, so I'm probably jaded because I also watched the Mario movie like a few weeks beforehand, and they do that exact same song in the final fight scene because the Mario brothers are apparently from Brooklyn in that movie. So it's a lot. So
the first time I went to New York City and I was like on one of those tour bus things and we went into Brooklyn, I played that song. And I have no shame. I love that.
That song is so overplayed for me. Like,
I love it. I love it. It's one of those songs that gets stuck in my head, and I'm perfectly fine that it gets stuck in my head. Yeah, that hallway fight scene was one of the coolest of all the MCU movies. The way the way they shot it,
the top 2 or 3 of like my favorite fight scenes of all time.
Yeah,
like
that fight scene is epic.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Somehow Adam Warlock gets involved, but he gets hurt or something like that, and Groot saves him. And Adam's like, "Why did you save me?" And they say, "Well, because I am Groot." He's like, "That means everybody that deserves a second chance." They're about to go, and Rocket's like, "I'm done running. I'm facing off with this guy." And he goes to face off with the High Evolutionary and just absolutely gets his butt kicked. But then everybody gets involved and beats up the High Evolutionary. Do we find out why the High Evolutionary has all these powers? Because the dude is pretty powerful.
I just assume he just like gave himself those powers. I have
to say that character to me is the weak spot in this movie. Like, like this. I was just not convinced. It was like, okay, my one moment that I was intrigued by him, and it's the only moment, was when his face gets ripped off and he looks a little like Red Skull, and I'm thinking, is Red Skull
is that Red Skull?
They have this tie-in? That would be a cool tie-in. And then it was like nothing happened. Like, I just something about that character just doesn't do it for me.
He's the standard MCU villain of the week. It's like, you knew he was going to die. You knew he was going to be defeated.
And you don't know why he is.
I do like that they gave him a little bit more background, though.
Right, exactly. You don't know anything about him other than, boom, there he is, and he's bad.
The only reason that he was good, and I agree, he did suck, but just the concept of him saying, you must be perfect for you must strive for perfection. He's going up against a bunch of misfits that all have problems, that all have defects. That conceptual battle was cool.
Yeah,
but the villain himself sucked. Yeah,
they could have.
I like the fact that he kept saying, I am perfection, I am perfection, I am perfection, and then getting frustrated for the fact that something he created was better than he was.
Yeah, and
so I liked that fact. He was flawed. I liked him being flawed like that.
He absolutely became like Moby Dick. He became obsessed with Rocket, and everyone else is like, dude, you're going crazy. You're obsessed. Like, dude, the ship is exploding. We need to retreat. He's like, never.
Oh yeah,
it's like the Wrath of Khan with Khan going after Kirk. I mean, it's the same. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought of. It's like that.
Yeah, his one minion is like, oh yeah, just let's not do this and let's live to fight another day. And he's like, no, we need to go get Rocket. And he basically sabotages his own ship.
Yeah, basically. So he's defeated. Oh, fun fact, he didn't die. No, he did not die. They brought him back.
Who did?
The Guardians. They brought him back. He is a prisoner on nowhere at the end of the movie. He's alive and he's a prisoner.
I have to go see it again. I have to.
You got
I
it.
was gonna say I
missed that.
I'll have to look at that scene again.
It's like a very tiny detail, but they're carrying his stupid butt. Like, why'd you just let him die, dude? He's a bad guy.
He's
It's
not
like
that
because they're
exciting.
the good guys and they don't kill.
Moff Gideon or
except
whatever.
for all those hundreds of things that they killed
Moff
on that.
Gideon.
Same concept. He's a Moff Gideon of this movie.
I get that.
By the way, the actor that played High Evolutionary was on Peacemaker.
I didn't know him.
I didn't know him
the
either,
actor.
but I'm not surprised that he was on Peacemaker because James Gunn.
That was a
is
James
the
Gunn
director of
thing,
that.
yeah. So, okay, so now they have to escape and they have to take everyone off the ship. But first they said,
this is one of my favorite scenes. Is they're rescuing all the people, and then Rocket sees all of the animals.
Yeah.
And he's like, we have to save them too. And that's where Rocket realizes that he's a raccoon. And that's
I love
when
that.
I appreciate that too. Like that moment where he like sees that he's a raccoon, he's like, I'm Rocket Raccoon. And I'm like,
finally embraces that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Throughout almost all of the MCU movies, beginning with Guardians of the Galaxy 1, they call them a rabbit and a badger and a and a trash panda and what else? All these different things.
Well, he always denied that he was a raccoon.
Yeah.
So he's like, there ain't nothing like me but me.
Right. And he finally embraces that he's Rocket Raccoon.
God, that gave me the feels.
So everyone is able to get off. Peter is about to get off, but his Zune is left behind. So he goes to grab his Zune. I love that he went from a cassette tape to a Zune. Like, I was like, ooh, 300
that
songs.
Was given to him in the second Guardians, though.
By Yondu.
Yeah. That was a present rap that he hadn't opened until that scene. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So he's safe, but he has to go back to get the Zune. Then when he goes back to get the Zune, now he's stuck. He tries to like shoot his way out with the hose or something like that, and he looks like he's just about to make it, but he misses, and now he's in space, and now he's dying.
I have two things to say about this. One, where the hell was his mask and his rocket boots from the first movie?
Yeah.
Second,
good point.
Second, did y'all think Gamora was going to jump in and like save him? Because I did.
I thought this was the moment that Peter was going to die. I thought I didn't think
Peter was going to die.
Okay.
Well, I knew none of that, so I didn't expect him to die. So.
But Adam Warlock comes and saves him. And So everybody's off now. Now they basically split up. Peter decides to go to Earth to meet his grandfather. Mantis decides to go off on her own. She could go her own way. Okay, I lost my singing voice.
Well, you missed the big one.
What?
Where they all hug, and Groot comes in and says, "I love you guys."
Is that when that happened?
Yeah,
I love that.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Vinny.
Adam's like trying to get into the groove.
Yeah, that was cute. He says, "I love you guys," which we heard. He didn't say, "I am Groot." So, does that mean that it's a movie? Stop getting emotional. Are we part of the family now? Are we part of the group? Are we Guardians, the audience?
Aww.
I
love that.
The whole reason James Gunn has come out and said this, the whole reason that you can understand Groot now is the same reason that Gamora can understand Groot now. Is that she is part of the Guardians. Is that she is family.
Aww.
We are family now.
At one
and
point,
we can understand Groot.
When Gamora could not understand Groot, she's just saying, you guys are just making up what he's saying. I know you're just
Yeah, I
faking it
remember that. Yeah.
And that is the point of that's the point of that character like stuff is she can't understand him, and then at the very end she can. So
what I love, awesome. and she goes off to join the Ravagers. And what I love is that what happened in all the previous movies has consequences. They could have easily had Gamora fall in love with Peter again and make it look like nothing happened.
And I am so very happy that they did not make them like have a love story. I like the ending where they go their separate ways. She's like, it was really fun, wasn't it? And he's like, yeah, like you wouldn't imagine. And that is just that it's great and it's painful. And I love that scene.
But I love because, in the beginning of the movie, she's like, I hate you. I don't know you. Go whatever. I want nothing to do with you. And now at least there's a respect there. And there's okay, I see you, there could have been something between us. I see,
I love that she recognizes that, like, yes, this could have been a fantastic thing, but it's not who I am.
Yeah.
And Peter also recognizes, yes, I love the version of you, but it's not who you are, and I need to let you go. Like, just those scenes are just powerful.
Okay, but
like I really, really like that.
That's one thing I didn't like. I'll be honest. Granted, I'm a happy ending girl and I like happy endings, but at the same time,
I usually like the happy endings too.
How painful. I mean, granted, these are movie characters, but how painful would it be for a human being or a half god, half human being to spend the rest of his life like knowing
that's his soulmate. That is the one
and
he loves.
Knows he can't have her. I think that's terrible. And Peter's obviously emotional and he's driven by that kind of stuff. There's no way he could be happy going forward. No way.
There was that one scene when they were still on planet Goopy where it was Peter, Aura, Nebula, and Gamora, and Peter basically explains the whole thing. It's like, yeah, we were in love, and then her dad threw her off a magic cliff, and I kind of screwed everything up and caused the universe to get. and Nebula's like, you missed some details, but yeah, mostly you got the gist of it. Yeah, that's how is that like?
Yeah, like logically, yeah, okay, this is nice tied up. She knows this, he knows this, blah blah. But I'm sorry, driven by an emotion person that I am, that would be a miserable state of being. Like there's nothing happy about that. Nothing.
There have been, I don't know, and I don't know what. I don't know if it was a TV show or a movie, but there were similar things where it's like, you're the love of my life, but in this situation, we don't know each other. So what I do is I try to recreate the things that made you fall in love with me in the first place. So I'm surprised they didn't do something like that, but that's what they decided. So, so Drax, it basically stays back because right now on Nowhere, it's all those little kids and all the animals. Drax and Nebula stay back to basically handle things there.
Well, no, but Nebula says she says something to the effect of, you were never a destroyer, you were a father.
You were a dad. I know, that was nice. I like
that. Was from that. I mean, that's the whole.
That made me smile because Drax actually has a purpose now.
He had a wife and a daughter that was killed by Ronan the Destroyer.
That's all he talks about.
Right. And they decide to make Rocket the leader of the Guardians. Dang it. It's a movie, damn it. Stop getting emotional. They decide to make Rocket the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I love that.
And they all salute him. Oh.
Yeah, if I teared up, that's when it was. I was like,
that was beautiful. That was beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah. So we get to, and then like and then they get to. Is this where they start? Everybody's dancing to "The Dog Days Are Over."
I love that song. Florence and
That's
the
a
Machine are
great
awesome.
song.
Yeah,
It's a great
that's a
song.
great-
It's a great ending of a movie song. Like the dog days are over. Everything's fine.
I like that.
So we get to the post-credit scene. I don't remember which one was the first one. Is it the Peter scene or the
I might have missed the last one. We might have left. I'm trying to remember if we left. I don't know.
But all right, so Pam, which one did you see?
Now I'm blanking. Wait. Talk about it and I'll remember.
Well, one of them was Peter visiting Earth and seeing his grandfather, and his grandfather recognizes him.
Yeah.
And his grandfather's reading the newspaper that says Kevin Bacon talks about aliens.
I knew Kevin Bacon made an appearance somewhere. That's where it was.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. And then the other post-credit scene is the new lineup of the Guardians of the Galaxy. We have Rocket Groot, Adam Warlock,
King Groot.
Oh, he's King Groot because he's a big. He's been taking those fertilizer or something.
Steroids.
He's been taking some steroids.
Yeah.
Kraglin, Blurb, who was Adam's pet, and
the little cat thing. Yeah,
and Phyla-Vell, who we're assuming this is Phyla-Vell.
Yeah.
Okay.
She becomes the Guardian, and she becomes the main character like as she ages, and also the things on her wrists, they're supposedly hinting at the quantum bands, which is a comic book thing.
Sounds like she has the same kind of powers and energy as Captain Marvel, Photon, and Ms. Marvel. Basically,
the quantum bands, the thing that she's supposedly wearing, they give you essentially Captain Marvel abilities.
So at some point they got to explain what that, because in the comics,
exactly,
she is she was basically created between the original Captain Marvel and one of the Titans or something like that. She's basically she's basically a creation, kind of like Adam Warlock, but she also has like crazy powers. But here she just shows up and she you can tell she has powers.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's just like pew 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 pew.
So they're on a mission. It looks like they're about to all of the hyenas from Lion King are about to attack this town, and they're like, and I think who is it? It was a Kragan was like, guys, I could take care of this. I got my little arrow thing. I could just take care. You guys take it. It's like, no, let's all do it together. And someone says, you have a song, and it's come and get your love.
Come and get your love. Well, no,
I heard that, so I guess I stayed.
Spears. The little one is like, oh, I want to listen to Britney Spears, and then Rocket is like, oh no, I got a classic for you, and he puts on "Come and Get Your Love," which, again, kudos to James Gunn for the song choice. They opened with "Come and Get Your Love," and they closed with "Come and Get Your Love."
It's awesome. Awesome. It's perfect.
That's
perfect way to end it.
The music is perfect. I have the Guardians 1 and 2 soundtracks, and I listen to them a lot. Yeah.
Also, when Adam Warlock first appears and attacks everyone, the song is "Go Crazy on You" by Heart. And he's going crazy on them. Yeah.
So now that James Gunn is completely, this is his last MCU movie. Like, he's done.
Yeah.
Do you guys have hope that he's gonna reboot the DCU and like do it right?
I don't care. And here's why.
You don't care?
No. Let me explain. I don't know what's going to happen, but I was really tired of random Batman movie, random Superman movie, random Wonder Woman, random that had no that had no connection to anything. They're just, or they like it had no direction. So if one dude comes in and actually gives all these movies a direction and makes them make sense, then it's a huge success. That's all I want, is something that makes sense.
All right. Peace.
It's yes, those movies were all enjoyable. I liked the first Shazam. I hated the second. I hated Wonder Woman 1984. Hated that. Oh,
terrible.
Wonder Woman 1984
terrible movie.
That was a terrible movie.
And I mean, heard.
So was the second Shazam.
Sorry, go ahead, Pam.
No, I was just going to say, how do you take that cast and make a movie that bad? That was blew my mind.
You got to go out of your way to take all that talent and suck. You got to like intentionally suck. That's like, you know who oversaw that movie? I bet it was Ron Hextall.
I bet it was.
It was Ron Hextall was running that Wonder Woman 1984. And that's why it sucks so bad. How dare
he ruin that?
I think I saw Jeff Carter in that movie.
Lord.
But no, I heard the second Shazam sucked also. And I didn't even see.
It was not a good movie.
I didn't even see that.
It was a product. It was all product placement.
I didn't even see that Rock movie at Black Adam or whatever. I didn't even bother seeing it.
I didn't see that one.
But
it's not terrible, but it's also not good.
But that's it. It's all gone. So apparently, when you have this Flash movie, it's going to reboot everything.
There's things. That Flash movie was still made during the old guard.
Okay. So even that Flash movie might be like the last of the standalone movies.
It's the last of that old generation.
They're
not bringing back Ezra Miller. They're not bringing back anything else.
Okay. While we have a few minutes, we know that there's going to be a Superman movie coming out, and Andrew, you said something about they've never done Superman right. How should they do Superman?
Superman, for lack of and I know people are sick of this, but we need a Superman origin story. Everybody just goes with Superman. Oh, he has these powers. He has these and they kind of tried to do it with Man of Steel, where he's like learning his powers and stuff, but they need a Smallville Superman that's learning how to be Superman and then going and trying to be like that kind of like character.
But I watched Smallville for 10 years. 10 years of my life. I watched Superman origin
nobody
stories.
Remembers Smallville.
He never put on a damn suit. I waited 10 years to put on the suit.
Nobody in the millennial age remembers Smallville.
Pam, did you ever watch Smallville?
I did, and I'll tell you why. Because my friend's husband is a composer and won an Emmy for composing music the first season.
No way! Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Nobody watched Smallville.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't watch beyond the first season.
It was.
Nobody watched Smallville.
But still, okay, fine. I don't care. Do another origin story. I'm fine. I don't care. You know, like I said, Superman is my all-time favorite character. So I'm never. Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Oh.
It is. I don't care what it is. If you said there was a movie of 2 hours of Superman like in a porta potty, just having like really bad, Taco Bell diarrhea or something like that, I would watch that. I just can't.
That's terrible.
I like I said, I love anything Superman. If it's Superman reading from a phone book, I would watch that.
And they did a study back in the 90s, and I don't know if they've done another one since, but the most recognizable character internationally, Spider-Man.
Okay. Well, I'll bet Superman was number 2.
Superman was number 2. Or no, I take that back. Batman was number 2, and then Superman was 3.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Batman better than Superman. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I just
like Spider-Man better than both of them. So
as a kid,
I do too.
As a kid, I remember this vividly. We went to Kmart and my mom said you could buy Superman underoos or Batman underoos. I chose Superman. I've
Spider-Man.
always been attracted, and I think it's just I think it's just the colors. I don't like Batman is always dark. Batman is always like gray or black.
Gray and black. Spider-Man, blue and red.
He's always colorful.
Blue and red.
Yeah.
For
So
Spider-Man.
I mean I don't care, but it's like I've seen so many Superman or stories. Just I don't care. Just do something. But just like I said, so I'm excited because it's a whole new thing, and hopefully
if you really want like some good Superman stuff, I would recommend the DC animated things that are on HBO. They really do, for whatever Marvel is doing, like the movie stuff really well. The animated stuff, DC's kicking their butt. Like
okay,
the DC animated stuff, it's really good.
We'll see.
So if you want to see a good version of Superman, good version of Batman, good version of Green Lantern, like go. I would say go there.
All right, guys. So great.
Oh.
I'm so happy to talk to you guys.
I know.
I miss you guys. So glad we got to talk.
Something soon.
We'll do something soon. All right. See you guys.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.